Okay, so welcome everybody to another Splatfest related video, and it's as I predicted a couple weeks ago now. I guess it was what, 3 weeks ago now? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah. Okay, choose a team. Well, you know, I'm kind of with Shiver. I mean, if you have power, I mean, you don't really need the others. You can't change it later. I know what I'm doing. Power, 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 and more power. Huh? Wow, that was weird. Usually it doesn't do that. Huh. Splatfest tea. Oh, that's cool. Really stands out, too. Maybe I ought to take some pictures for the highlight reel, huh? Oh, it's even got the Legend of Zelda on the back. You know, if Nintendo really wanted to, they could sell merch of these Splatfest things. I mean, they already have keychains for... they already had keychains on their website still for the Pokemon Splatfest. That's been a while ago now. Maybe one more video. I had to go back in and look at my photos and such to make sure that I didn't... Okay, so... What? I thought I... Weird. I thought I chose it. Okay, so... You know how this works. First I choose a team. First we choose a team. And then in the days leading up to the actual Splatfest, we go around and, well, we represent. Hey, go Team Courage. Oh, I guess we can't be friends. Aw. Extreme wisdom. That face says otherwise. Autism Solidarity Field Portal. I'm not sure I follow that. Yeah, right. Alright. Yeah. You know, that's reminiscent of Ida Maria's. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Back from the hospital. Courage is doing what you are afraid to do. Well, not necessarily. Okay. Well. Alright, so that's that. Guess all that's left to do is to go to the lobby then. Now, I'm not going to make this I'm going to try my best not to make this a full-on video. Meaning it's probably not going to be an hour long or whatever. At least I hope so. Or hope not. Let's see. Turf War. Rainmaker. Yeah, but is this best for Rainmaker, though? Well, I mean, I can give it a shot. Why not? I should probably be doing, I should probably be doing more Turf Wars than anything, but, you know, you give someone a rank and, you know, people think, you know, give them something to be arbitrarily judged on so you improve upon yourself. You know? It's like, well, it's kind of like a duelist level, quote-unquote, in, you know, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, you know? Or Master Duel, you know? Yeah, high level's nice, but, I mean, it doesn't mean anything. Especially if it doesn't really mean anything if, you know, ultimately, you know, it's all about spending money and getting lucky to own cards or crafting the cards you need. I mean, honestly, I think, man, I mean, I know this is off topic and doesn't have anything to do with, you know, Splatoon, but, you know, I mean, levels in general, you know, when you're comparing yourself to other players, I mean, it's just arbitrary, you know. Not everyone is going to eat, breathe, and sleep the game enough to, you know, perfect it to a degree that, you know, they're number one. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't really prove anything in the grand scheme. Hell, back when I was getting my associate's degree, I attended this law class, right? Because, you know, it's, you know, criminal justice was one of the electives, and, you know, I was introduced to a bunch of college students who were, you know, taking their bi-paid beta, kappa, whatever. They were basically taking their, you know, their little law clique, or whatever, like, way too seriously, you know? I mean, you ever hear of the phrase, big fish, small pond? I mean, everyone's big and bad because they belong to some group of individuals until they get out into the real world, you know, and realize just how small people really are. I mean, I'm not saying that, like, you know, you shouldn't try in life. I'm just saying, you know, sometimes people just take things too seriously, you know, and it's just unfortunate. Dang, I'm not doing so well, am I? You know, speaking of my time trying to get my associate's degree, that was a bad time personally. I mean, I actually had a different job back then, like a job. Worse job than the one I've got now, but you know, I'd be lying if I said that the job I've got now isn't starting to get a little tedious. I mean, I don't see it improving for the better or what have you, you know, one way or the other. I mean, this weapon's powerful, but it sure as heck can't aim. Do a lot. I think, or no, we haven't even made it to the checkpoint technically. Maybe I should just focus on recon, huh? You know, as far as the Legend of Zelda games go, I think Hyrule Warriors, no, not Age of Calamity, although that was pretty good too. I'd say Hyrule Warriors probably had a good story. I mean, I won't spoil anything, but let's just say for a Zelda game, you know, I don't think it could get. The heroes were pretty much at the lowest point possible, right? Like, when all hope and all such seemed lost, you know? They still managed to eke out a victory, but... Well, I mean, that part's not really a spoiler. I mean, heroes generally triumph over villains in these things, but... You know... But then you compare to, like, Breath of the Wild, for example, and you have, like, this story where, you know, the villain pretty much had won. But, you know, you're treated as, like, a saving grace, right? Like, technically the villain hasn't won yet, but could still lose. I mean, similar to how in Ocarina of Time, you know, and the game's been out for a while, so I don't mind spoiling it. Ocarina of Time, you know, Link pulls the Master Sword, you know, ages and, you know, gets older and ages 7 years in an instant. You know, and in the absence of a hero in those 7 years, you know, Ganon pretty much just wrecks everything, you know. Basically, the people of the castle town had to move to what was then a village, you know, the Kakariko village of that game. You know, what's the separation between a village and a town? Like, what makes a village and a town a town? I mean, I can understand, like, a town is, like, better, I guess, overall than a village. Like, if you think about, like, in the real world, there's cities, and then you got rural areas, right? So, is it based on just the number of people and facilities you have that make that turn a village into a town, or what's the deal? Because, you know, in the 7 years, you know, when Ganon was wrecking stuff, you know, residents of the castle town, or whomever survived anyway, basically had to take refuge to Kakariko, right? And since then, you know, there's now, I guess, Kakariko Village turned into a town of sorts. Not a very big town, because again, Ganon is still out there, but, you know, they were getting by, I guess, for better or worse. Oh, bollocks. You know, I have beaten the story mode of this game, but I have not bothered to... I haven't tried my hardest to... I really ought to go back and try to do the Alteria mission. That's what I'm trying to get at. But of course, you know, some part of me feels like I'm getting old, you know? And I don't have the time, patience, energy, what have you, to do much, you know? I mean, kind of depressing, but, you know. But then again, I mean, ultimately, if the reward is just a pair of ears, you know, or just some trinket to say, hey, look what I did, you know. And it really begs the question of if the reward is really worth the risk, you know. DMG. That's either short for damage or Dark Magician Girl. That weapon is powerful, but it's kind of such a one. You know, you would think that they would have added a thing in this game where you can temporarily choose a weapon while staying part of a team. You know, when you're doing what do you call this, ranked battle? So that way you don't have to back out completely. I mean, if you're doing just a regular turf war, I mean, you can change weapons on the fly. Or rather, you know, in between matches. I mean, win or lose, I'm going to have to win or lose, I'm going to have to re-up my, buff, if you will. You know, not to start a conflict or whatever, but in terms of people doing videos on Tears of the Kingdom when it comes out, and aside from myself, who plan on recording some videos too for everyone, I think I'm kind of interested to see Tom Fox's LP of the game. I'm just kind of hoping that, you know, unlike in Breath of the Wild, that he doesn't get the idea to do it drunk, I guess, or presumably drunk. I mean, you don't actually see him drinking on stream. I mean, that's a Twitch no-no right there, but I don't know. Presumably he was buzzed, and, you know, I mean, he gets pretty belligerent, I guess, you know, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, yeah, people spoiling the game for him and trying to nudge him in directions that he doesn't want to go in, or, you know, especially when he tells people over and over again, hey, don't tell me how to play the game. Okay, well, looks like I have to change weapons anyway, but still. I mean, I don't really foresee myself, okay. Now, what would be a better weapon? I mean, that's good, but that would be great for ground coverage. Well, I mean, well, actually, it's, what, 12:56 right now? Series. Okay, splat zones are next, so choosing a weapon based for that one would probably be great. Yeah, I'd say this is still probably hands down a better weapon. I mean, this is a close second if I want to... I mean, this one would be a close second if I want to, you know, you know, take out the enemies, but yeah, I guess I'm just sticking with this weapon then. Oops. Oops. Wow, these controls aren't very intuitive. Hopefully I can get another quick match in. I mean, the rank, you know, your win-loss rank carries over from one mode to another, so, you know, you can do well in one mode and then the mode switches on you and suddenly, you know, you lost. But again, as I said before, levels, ranks, I mean, they don't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things. Speaking of which, with all the times I've played this game, I've been neglecting to do the Wonder Crust thing on the Switch Online app. You know, just some small time rewards, you know? You know, nothing game-breaking, of course, but something to do. As far as the actual Splatfest goes, I think probably what would be best if I just try to keep it to one episode, you know, for now. I mean, don't get me wrong, the journey to the top is nice, but, you know, again, at its core, you're basically just watching me play an online multiplayer game, so not really a whole lot to go on. Oh, hello. Oh, I splatted Agent 49. Some of the names people come up with. I hate how they can just throw the hammer. Looks like one of the people left, so this isn't going to count. This match doesn't count anyway. What a shame. What a bummer. Oh, now we made progress. Wait, did that person just glitch? Or is it my frame rates messing up? Speaking of which, I remember seeing like a comedic sketch by some guy that I've only watched a couple of his videos. I don't remember who he is, but you know, he made like this gag videos of like this protagonist who's basically like a glitchy mess. No, I mean like, I don't mean like he was full of glitches. I mean like his frame rate was like way off. Like, you know, he was like the protagonist of his own thing, right? I think the best weapon I could have used probably for Rainmaker is probably something that covers a lot of ground, I think. Because, you know, the more turf we have already inked, the more difficult it is for them to actually traverse. So they have to literally stop, you know, everything. And we lost. Great. Yeah, because one or more players are not able to continue the match will not count one way or the other. And here we are in Splat Zones. You know, I really ought to consider doing more Grisco things. There we go. Splat Zones. Okay, yeah, that's not a bad map. Not bad maps, I guess. Let's see. Menu? Oh, I can't even check to see if I have buffs. Gotta say, I like the inclusion of the jukebox. Though the idea of paying for a song, I mean, especially when, you know, especially when all the swag in the game and such costs so much. And that's another thing. They added swag to this game that ultimately it's meaningless. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I bought a few things, but it doesn't mean anything. I guess they were trying to address the issue of people who somehow manage to spend time to max everything out, buy all the weapons, etc., that they have nothing left to spend money on. You know? I suppose I could use the Clash Blaster, too. We are not doing so well. And a failure on my team's part is a failure on my part. Because, you know, hello, part of that team. hate it when my weapon goes click, 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 like it's out of ammo or something. And we lost. Okay, I guess it's based also on your achievements. Okay, well... Okay, well, that's gonna do it for this video, but remember... But just remember, the Splatfest is this weekend. The weekend of the 5th. Yes, I'm talking Cinco de Mayo. So, you know, when you get off of school, or get out of school, or if you can take off from work, whatever. You know, hey, I'm not judging. I'm not judging. Lots of people these days play video games. But anyway, listen, Team Powuh needs you. I mean you specifically. Now, if you haven't picked a team yet, pick Team Powuh. Because, you know, it's power. Hello. Anyway, see you next time.